What's up, people? My Vernon Cuter coming to you again. How's everybody doing out there? Yeah, um, had a good day yesterday. Yesterday was my 30th birthday. Yeah, it's now settled in, guys. Yeah, I'm officially now 30. First and foremost, I like to thank my mentor, Blue Goblin, Ed, Jen. Thank you so much for the gift. I appreciate it. This will not be opened at all. I'll leave it in a box. But yeah, Mumra. I'm a big fan. He's probably one of my favorite non-comic book characters. So thank you so much for that. Uh, Thank you again, guys. I know your birthday's coming up, and Lady J, if you're watching this as well, I still have something for you. So um, also give a shout out to Ziploc Gory. Today is his birthday. He turned 26. So congratulations, Victor. Send him a shout out on his channel, or if you're friends with him on Facebook like I am, give him a shout out. And as for this week's shout out, uh, gonna give it to Movie Geek 17. I've been coming to know Alex really well on Skype. We've hooked up a couple of times with collab vids with my friend my fellow YouTubers 3 member Deadpoolzilla, and it's been really fun about that. So big ups to Alex. Shout out to him. I'm gonna leave his link in the description as well. So check him out, subscribe to him, do whatever you want to. But shout out to Movie Geek 17. So with that being said, that was about 2 minutes right there, right, guys? So let's get into the comics, which you all have been here to view. So first up, we're going to start off with DC. And I have a few DC books to cover for you today. And we'll kick it off with my mentor's pick of the week, Batman, number 7. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, boy, guys, have been doing an excellent job on this. Very good, very gritty, very, badass. The Court of Owls have put Bruce through turmoil, and when I mean turmoil, they have pushed him to the limits that I've never seen anybody really push Bruce in a long time, and he's able to get free of them and get back to the Batcave. But just like how my mentor said, he continues to work. He's not taking rest and everything like that. He also does an autopsy on the Talon um, operative that he was able to defeat. And that's when Dick Grayson comes in, Nightwing, to check on him, but also, and we find out something that was supposed to happen to Dick Grayson, and I'm not going to spoil that. I agree with Gabi, I'm not going to spoil it. You just got to read this for yourself to figure out what I was talking about. But this was excellent. Very good stuff right here. Scott Snyder, keep doing your thing on this, bro, because you have been killing it on this book. Very good. Next up, we'll keep it in the Bat family in a way. Batman Beyond Unlimited number 2. Dustin Nugent and Adam Beecham. Now, remember, guys, these are both stories. There's 2 stories in this. There's solo Batman, Terry's adventures, and then there's the Justice League of this new book. So in the first story with Batman, basically is the return of Mad Stan. Y'all remember that guy from the cartoons? Well, it seems that everybody was thinking that Mad Stan was dead, but in reality wise, all he was visiting his mother, who's in a nursing home, and things like that. And things get a little hectic for Terry dealing with Mad Stan. The person we also get to see in this book, the person who provides Mad Stan with all his ordnance, all his bombs and everything like that. And when Mad Stan sees that this guy is given not exclusive no more to just to him, he starts taking it out on him. And that's pretty much what that story was. And in terms of the Justice League story, they're still trying to figure out what happened to Micron. And they figured out that Micron maybe an operative now for Cobra in this. So that's pretty much what this was. But in the end, they were able to get Micron back, but without spoiling too much for you guys, we still don't know if he's under control by Cobra or he joined them on his own. You know, he got in too deep undercover and followed the cause. But it was good nonetheless. Batman Beyond Unlimited #2. All right, next up, Birds of Prey #7. Yeah, this Mr. Swizninsky. This has been getting really good, guys. So, basically the concept of this is the birds have finally found out who this guy Choke is, and he's putting control over so many people. We see some tidbits, some gut shots in here, guys, that is like, whoa, like holy crap. You know how Dinah feels about, you know, Starling, and kind of between her and Batgirl, um, what Choke can do to Poison Ivy, what Kitana did to Choke, or who we think is Choke. Also, why we also get the reason why Black Canary is on the run, why she's an outlaw. And I'm not going to spoil what that was. It has something to do with a family member. I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, it was really good. We get to see her use her canary cry in this, which came in handy in this book as well. But yeah, this book has been really picking up. I really been enjoying this book very much. Birds of Prey #7. Next up, Blue Beetle #7. Evasive maneuvers cause short timer will leave you in the dust. Alright, so Jaime has left his home of El Paso, so he doesn't cause any more trouble. He feels that since he's got in league with the Scarab, it's been causing none but trouble in El Paso for him. For example, his best friend Paco nearly tried to kill him. He had to do a lot of things that he has regretted, so he left and went to my neck of the woods, the Big Apple. And a lot of people have seen what he did to his friend, and seen him smack her around and things like that. So they're like, "What kind of superhero is this?" and things like that. So he's just trying to really fit in and trying to stay low in this book. Tony Bedard does a pretty good job. Marcos Takara, who does the artwork in this, was decent. But it also shows off, it seems like, what's the next villain that Jaime is going to deal with, this guy called Short Timer, which is actually kind of interesting indeed. But yeah, it's still there. It's borderline. It's starting to pick up, but it's not really declining, in my opinion, in Blue Beetle. But I can't wait to see what they do with what else is coming for Jaime and the Scarab. But yeah, Blue Beetle #7. Green Lantern Corps #7. John Stewart killed a Green Lantern. What happens next? Again? Yes. Peter Tomasi on this book. Basically, guys, the concept is, in the last issue, we saw John Stewart once again kill another fellow Green Lantern. Last time we saw him kill Mogo. Now he killed this guy called Kirk. And he feels guilty about it, and he wants to confess, but he's not. And he takes Kirk back to his home planet, to his family, and, you know, just trying to, you know, keep a low profile, but give Kirk the proper burial. But even though he still feels guilty, that, you know, he wants to tell them what he did, but, you know, they're not gonna do it. But yeah, basically that's pretty much it. You know, once again, they're just putting the shaft to John Stewart in this a lot, and it's like, God damn it, yo! It's like, come on, like, he give him a break, like. how much, like my mentor said, how much you guys gonna push John Stewart? Is it's getting to the point. It's getting really crazy for John, and it to the point he might snap. Okay. Next up, was a little disappointed in this book. Justice League #7. And I'm probably not the only one that is disappointed. Okay. Now, first of all, this issue actually is the backup time, basically introducing Shazam into the new 52 universe. And that story was really good. But let me first get into the Justice League one. Alright, I have some, first of all, Jim Lee doesn't do the interior artwork. He only does the exterior, basically. So the Justice League deals with what seems to be the birth of a new villain coming. Yada, yada, yada. And that's okay, but there are some problems I have with this book. Basic, basically, I'm sorry guys. Me and my bro were watching something, and something came up that was really funny. Um, it seems that in this book, since John is writing Hal in the other book as well, and I gotta keep Hal in this book is a douche, and it is just really weird. Second of all, I have a problem with is they have Trevor basically. Well, it's Trevor who has feelings for Wonder Woman, and he told her about it too, but nothing happened. And think he's like the liaison to the Justice League in this. Okay. However, what I really had a problem with is what Batman says in this book. Batman knows that the UN is putting together the Justice League International, and he basically comes out and says that the UN should shut down that joke of a team called the Justice League International because I've worked with them and they're joke. So I'm like, now wait a minute. Now wait a minute. Bruce, you was all for it. You actually backed Booster up on this. So now all of a sudden you doing a whole 180 now, and you're now like they're a joke. Shut it down, or we're gonna shut it down. And he's talking off screen too, which is really like that's not Bruce. He wouldn't do that. And it was just really uncharacteristic. Thank you, Malcolm. Very uncharacteristic of Batman in this, and I was really disappointed in this issue very much. But the Shazam story was really good. I really enjoyed that. The concept of we get to see Dr. Savannah in this and how he knows that magic exists. We didn't really get to see the Wizard Shazam, but we just saw a little, silhouette of him, his beard and things like that. We've seen that they haven't, to get to now where the Wizard Shazam is, you can be in the elevator, you can be on the train, bus, everything like that was really good. Gone in this now, Billy is no longer in Fawcett City now. Fawcett City, I guess, doesn't even exist anymore. Now he's in Philadelphia, which is really interesting. Excuse me, my nose is itching. But the Shazam story was really good. I really enjoyed that. But the Justice League story was disappointing to me. I gotta admit that straight up with you guys. Yes, usually I don't come out and say that. Usually I always say for me it was pretty good. But basically here I was disappointed. I was disappointed here with this issue. Sorry, but I was. All right. Next up, Nightwing #7. Psycho's Last Act. Kyle Higgins basically does this. This was good. Um, so Dick has a last fight with the villain Psycho in this, and we find out who Psycho is. Psycho was actually one of Dick's old friends from the carnival. When they used to grow up, and he blames what happened to him on Dick Grayson. He tells him that there were things that happened in the Haley Circus that you weren't privy to because you left to be raised by a billionaire and things like that. And so he blames Dick for what happened. But also he wasn't the only person that felt that way about it. And it was kind of interesting as well as to see the other party involved in why this is happening to Dick, but it was really good. Nonetheless, it was good, but it ended kind of sad because one of the childhood friends that he grew up with, which was a girl who was actually redhead, I'm forgetting her name right now. She was also behind it, and she just gave him like a dirty look that really, really bothered him in a way. But yeah, it was good nonetheless. And then it goes into what Alfred calls Dick in and tells him that Bruce is finally back, and then it goes into the story that we saw in Batman, and so basically, it's coming. The whole Court of Owls story arc is coming throughout the Bat family. But this was good. It was nonetheless really good. Nightwing number 7. Supergirl number 7. Attack of the World Killers. Michael Green, Mike Johnson. So basically, it's Supergirl versus the World Killers. These 4 individuals that were created by Kryptonians, I believe, years ago, eons ago, and of course led by the person she fought before, Rain. And now Supergirl is fighting in New York, Times Square, and she's trying to keep everybody safe from this. And this was just a throw-out battle with Supergirl. This was just action packed from the get go, from start to finish. It just Supergirl had to really use her head in this because she was fighting 4 individuals that were just as strong as her and could hurt her. And the point was, Rain was saying that only a world killer can kill another world killer. You can't kill us, and it really comes down to how does Supergirl deal with this. Um, Without spoiling too much, does she win the battle? Yes, she does win the battle. I'll spoil that for you. Spoiler alert. She does win the battle, but does she win the war? But this was just action packed, guys, from start to finish. Supergirl number 7. I can't wait to the next issue because you know why? You know why? Silver Banshee's coming back. Yes. I'm sorry, guys. I love Silver Banshee, and I geeked out when I saw that next issue. Um, Wonder Woman number 7. Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chang artwork on this. Basically, um, Diana needs a little help because she needs to go get Zola back from the underworld. So it's basically she's pulling the Orpheus story arc in this. How, if you know the mythology of Orpheus, he descended into the Netherrealm to get his love back. Well, that's what Wonder Woman's going to do. So she goes to Hephaestus for help, and we also get a lot of introduction now into the Amazons. For example, has anybody ever thought of, were there any male Amazons? Well, you get your answer in this, guys. There were male Amazons. They changed a little bit that the Amazons, they were like pirates in a way. They would mate with human male sailors and stuff and throw them overboard afterward. And when they would have their babies, if they were a girl, they keep them. If they were boys, they throw them away. They just throw them away. I'm like, man, they making the Amazons really, really, really coming off like bitches, which is really bad. So they made a deal with Hephaestus. Basically, he would keep the males, and he would make weapons for them. So that's basically what this was all about. We getting to see more of what happens. So Diana, she feels that now she has brothers, so she knows about her brothers, but she's trying to liberate them from Hephaestus at the end. And they're like, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be alive. So we're grateful for him. We're artists. We help him in the forge and everything like that. And that kind of breaks Diana down. She's like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. And this was interesting, very good. But it gives a little bit more in depth to how they have changed more of the Amazons in this new universe a lot. Wonder Woman number 7. All right, so we move on to the only IDW comic I have, Chuck Dixon on Snake Eyes number 11. Okay, so basically we figure out that now this is kind of false advertising. There's not a big battle between Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Basically, it's come to fruition that Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow are teaming up to deal with the new Cobra Commander. So he's kind of chosen family over the Joes in a way, and it's kind of like one of his teammates follows him, is like, so you're gonna choose family over us, Snake Eyes, and she's gonna shoot him, and she doesn't shoot him, but that's pretty much all this is about. Um, it was decent. The artwork was really good. I really enjoyed the artwork. Was it Kyle does this artwork? But yeah, like I keep saying, solo, if there's any GI Joe member that deserves his own solo book, it's Snake Eyes. All right, and so we move on to Marvel. All right, so we'll kick it off with the world's greatest superhero, SpiderMan. This is the first part to the new story, Ends of the Earth. Um, Dan Slott, Casella. This is issue 682. All right. Was this a good issue? Yes, very good. We seen Peter. He does a lot in this book. I mean, we seen that him working at Horizon has really been paying off. He's been able to create new gadgets for himself, things like that. The funniest thing was him in that glider. The first part, we see him on a glider and he's got spider-like bombs, like the Green Goblin and a Hobgoblin, things like that. That was funny. That was hilarious. We also see that he's been kind of preparing for the Sinister Six. He has boxes with all their names on it: Rhino, Sandman, Mysterio, Doc Ock, everything like that. We also see that JJ wants to shut down Horizon because, in his mind, Horizon is the cause of a lot of things. And of course, the biggest one, Horizon nearly got John Jameson killed. Whatever. Okay, but uh, Doc, Norm, Doc Ock, Octavius sets his plan in motion, and boy, does he set his plan in motion. And it's really the beginning of what's to come. And some people are looking at it like what Doc is doing. He's trying to leave his mark in history before he dies. But Spidey's looking at it, he got another agenda. He knows Doc. He knows he's not doing it for the good of mankind. He's doing it for himself and to make a point. So he suits up. And I gotta say, even though Marvel did spoil what his new suit's gonna look like, I guess that he prepared for the Sinister Six. I gotta admit, it looks badass. But I do agree with my boy Ziploc Gory. It does look a little bit like Deadpool and Red Hood combined. But I love the situation when he came into the Avengers mansion and was like, "Look, all right, I'm talking now. Look at me." I thought that was like a step up for his character. You usually think he would take it as a joke, but he was like, "Yeah, I'm in a new suit. Get over it. Now I'm talking now. I got 2 words that I'm sorry that I haven't heard anyone say yet. Avengers assemble." And I was like, okay, Pete, you taking it serious. So this was really good. Can't wait to see how they do this. But I still hate what they're doing to Doc Ock. I'm sorry. All right, the last issue for the uh, miniseries, Avengers X Sanctions, Jake Loeb and Ed McGuinness. Okay, basically, short story short, Wolverine and Spidey come to the aid of Falcon, Red Hulk, Cap, and Iron Man to stop Cable. Um, and in the process of Cable, you can hear Cable talking about what he thinks of Wolverine and Spider-Man. He's basically saying, Wolverine, he and I we have a long history together, and he's one X-Men that I respect a lot because he's willing to kill, without question. And then he says something about Spider-Man that really makes me really funny. He's like, And as for Spider-Man, even though he comes off as like a egotistical, like, like he like jokester and trickster, it's hard to believe that his legacy will be the greatest superhero of all time. And I was like, oh snap, that's kind of interesting. And also we have Cyclops and Hope in this, trying to deal with what's going on and trying to stop Cable. Um, and basically they do stop him. It becomes so bad that the technovirus basically just shuts down his lungs and everything. Like, um, but this is pretty much the starting point of the event that's coming. In a way, that's pretty much what this is. Um, Bottom line, guys, Hope cures her father of the technovirus. She takes it right out of him, thanks to the Phoenix, in a way. And then there's a big scene between father and son, Cable and Cyclops, in the astral plane talking, and he's like, "Look, just promise me when the battle between the Avengers come, you'll do the right thing." And he says, "And it will come." So other than that, this miniseries was interesting. At best, it was interesting at best. I pretty much enjoyed it. I wasn't too much on the cuff, but it was decent enough. Um, I'm not a I don't hate Ed McGuinness's artwork. I thought it was. I'm cool with his artwork, even though yeah he makes everybody jacked up on steroids. But yeah, it was okay. But it was all right, not bad. Iron Man, Invincible Iron Man number 514. Best book Fraction does. Salvador LaRocca, good artist. Okay, so bottom line in this book is there's still going on about that everybody knows that Tony got drunk and they're taking out the Pentagon. Everybody's taking out that if he can't be Iron Man if he's going to be drunk. So we know that um, um, Justine Hammer, the Mandarin, and Ezekiel Stain, Obadiah Stane's son, have teamed up to cause Tony trouble. We're also in this book we see the new improved Whirlwind and the new Melter in this book. Um, so basically, the Pentagon comes to Stark's headquarters in Seattle and basically tell him that you need to put this on your repulsor. Basically, what's basically keeping you alive, and it basically consider a like a breathalyzer that'll monitor you just to make sure you're not drunk. And Tony's like, look, I'm not doing that. Fuck that shit. I'm not doing that, buddy. He has no choice but to do it. And when he's fighting the Hurricane, I mean not her. When he's fighting Whirlwind, they put their plan into fruition and shut him down. And it was like, oh snap! And it's kind of messed up, but this is still the best book that Fraction is doing. At best, uh, the best. If I was to say what Fraction does best, like if I was to give a number, this is number one. I'll probably say yeah, his Thor is not that bad, and I will say yeah, the Defenders are not that. That'll be my down 1 through 3. But yeah, Invincible Iron Man number 514 was good. It was. Next up, Jason Aaron's Wolverine number 303. This is the final arc of Return to Tokyo. Basically, the war between the Yakuza, the Hand, and the Yoshida clan, basically the Silver Samurais, has come to an end, and it kind of goes out in a blaze of glory in a way of don't let that cover fool you. There really was no fight between Sabretooth and Wolverine, but Sabretooth did cause Wolverine some grief in this, but he was in it for his own matter. Wolverine was pretty much there for his daughter, actually, Amiko. He was there for her, which and he does take out the basically the Japanese the Tokyo branch of the Hand has been wiped out. It's completely wiped out, which is actually kind of interesting. And But other than that, this was very good. I really enjoyed this, um, and we got to see a pretty good ending of, you know, um, father and daughter basically, you know, doing what they do best. They were, when he was about to leave, Wolverine. I'll spoil this for you. When Wolverine is about to go back to the school, he tells Yuko, basically, if she starts to get too much for you, I have a school back home. Send her over there. And I'm like, well, that's big of Wolverine to do. But when he's about to leave, she comes out of her room and she's like, I heard there was a situation in Tokyo right now. You want to help out? Like, I guess that's their way of like saying, Dad, I love you, or things like that. But it was good. It was good nonetheless. So Wolverine #3, Aaron's did a really good job on this book. All right, and last but not least, um, X Factor number 233 brings me back to your good old days of X Factor, Polaris and Lorna. Polaris and Havoc, my favorite of the Summers brothers. So basically, this was just good old times. It felt like old X Factor, while the team was working with their once liaison to the government, Valerie Cooper, once again, and it was just good stuff. Yeah, we saw Magic in there, and he had just finished getting busy with Layla Miller on on a morgue table, which was really funny. But she tells him like, no more secrets between us, okay? And he's like, I can't wait to see their faces to know how their fearless leader's back. And she's like, yeah, about that. You're not the leader anymore. And he's like, so Polaris and Alex are back, huh? And he's like, yeah, they think you're dead. Um, and we see what the team has been doing, what they're doing, which was really good. It was just fun. This was just really fun. Peter David just really does a very good job on this book. I really enjoyed it. The funniest thing was when uh, Jamie went to Pat, the troll, and he was like, "Hey, Pat, I'm back." And he was like, "Yeah, whatever. Don't bother me when I'm on a porn site." I was like, I just laughed my head off. That was funny. But this is just classic X Factor stuff, man. It was just really good. I love that cover. This cover never gets old. We see this a lot, just like Bobby said. We see this a lot, but sometimes you can't beat the classics. Just good stuff. So other than that, guys, that's it. Thank you for listening. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you thought. Tell me if what you picked up. But other than that, this is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real. Once again, happy birthday, Victor. As always, I'll take care.